All right, so I think we're live here on YouTube. Sinem, thank you so much for being here. I'm so excited to have you here for this video and what I think is going to be really, really helpful, important guide for those who are curious about medium.com and also particularly for some of us who have been using it and would love to do it even better. I certainly need some guidance on that. So I'm going to be picking your brain on it. So for those who don't know Sinem, well, we met through medium.com, right? And you are a editor, I guess. Is it called editor of
Hmm.
Better Marketing? Better Marketing, those of you who don't know, is a very popular publication on medium.com. Medium is a platform, and I'm sure you'll explain this better, but from what I can tell, okay, Medium is kind of like social media, but focused on writing, focused on bloggers. It's like a bloggers network, writers network. And when you sign up for Medium, you get your own kind of blog page where you could do all your articles and writings, and then you can connect with others. You can follow other writers. They could follow you back. You can also submit your writings to what's called publications, which have their own following. Better Marketing, Sinem, has how many followers now? Do you know?
Ooh, I don't even know. I
But
think we
it's
are
in
over
the
100,000 though.
Yeah, it's big and it's filled with people who are influential because they people who are fellow marketers and just people who want to do better at marketing. So you're one of the editors, Sinem, which means you get to choose the articles that are worthy of being put into better marketing, and you get to do some editing before you guys publish it. Sinem, you have been on Medium for how long now?
Since 2018. It's
Wow.
been
Yes.
over 5 years now, yeah.
Yes, over 5 years. Funny thing, Sunan, I've been on Medium longer than that, but you have a way better Medium.com skill than me, which is why we're here. I'm gonna pick your brain on this. So okay, so you've been on Medium for a few years, and tell us your experience with it. What's it been like for you? Obviously you like it enough to become an editor of a publication, but tell us about that.
Yeah, honestly, my journey into Medium started in a very odd way. I have been a coach and trainer before I started to write. So I was hosting in-person workshops here in Vienna. We were mostly hosting workshops for like 20 people. Every weekend we would have our little workshops. And my business partner and fiance, Philip, had been very early on online courses on various platforms like Udemy and Skillshare. Like he's been on these platforms, and I think it's been 2012, 2015, like very early looking back now. So he had a totally different perspective on the online world, and he randomly came across Medium one day. He saw this YouTube video of a guy saying, you can write and make money on this platform. And he said to me, "Hey, you can write on this platform. This could be interesting for you." And we were in our office when he told me. And I remember on our drive home, I was sitting in a tram and I had my laptop on and I already tried to like sign up and figure out what it's all about. And I basically started by turning what I had been sharing in those workshops into blog posts. I had no idea how to write. English is not my first language. Um, but
And
I
and
thought,
do you write strictly in English on Medium?
yeah, I write only in English. My
Wow.
entire business is in English.
Wow.
And that was very new back then because our workshops were all in German in person. But I loved how little friction there was. Like you set up your account and you could immediately publish a blog post. Um, I liked the idea of it being so easy. Of course, you can also do that on YouTube or Instagram, but you need another skill set on Instagram or YouTube if you want to share knowledge. Um, And I literally did that for 1.5 years without really knowing what I was doing. But I was getting positive comments here and there. And it was so cool for me to see that, this reader from the US had come across my article and left a positive comment. Even though I was not getting a lot of views or making a lot of money, it was just, it was enough to keep me going because it was interesting. And it was this cute little thing I was doing on site that was just mine, and everything else that I've been doing was in a team. And it sometimes took a while to make decisions, also with those workshops and stuff. And that was just my little corner of the internet, and I love that idea.
Yeah.
And I was actually very lucky in my journey.
Yeah. Can I
Uh,
share your Medium page on screen? Is that okay?
yeah, sure.
Well, because I want everyone to actually go and read your stuff too. I mean, because your stuff is,
Thanks.
I mean, it would be a good follow on to this discussion because on your Medium page, you have lots of helpful articles about, look, how to start writing on Medium, a complete beginner's guide. So I'm going to definitely point people. I'm going to put that below this video when I finish recording this,
Yeah.
so then people can go read it. And you have other things that are going to help other Medium writers.
Yeah.
Now, what I would love to do in this video, in this our interview today, is to go beyond the beginner stuff because they can go and they should go and read your beginner's guide and kind of follow along and do everything. But given that it's so precious to have this time with you, to 74,000 followers, and you are an editor, and yeah, so folks, go check out Sinem's profile. Again, I will put that in the link below. You can also just go to this link if you want to. Um, I I'm going to ask you this to start with. You have come across obviously lots and lots of Medium writers in your time, especially as an editor. And this might, okay, I'll just get right into it. What do you think is one of the biggest mistakes or misunderstandings that people have about Medium, as they try to use it and they try to get famous or they try to get read? Is there any kind of pitfall or misunderstanding or mistake that comes to mind for you? Like, oh, I wish everyone on Medium knew this.
Yeah. I mean, it's all the, I'll call it obvious stuff that we have in other platforms too. Like, if your titles are not catchy and compelling, people will not click on the article. And even if you have written the most amazing article, people don't get a chance to read it if they are not excited about the title. That's it is what it is. I think specifically on Medium, a lot of people really do underestimate the power of publications, because that is very unique to Medium. You can think of publications like those mini magazines on specific topics with oftentimes specific audiences. And as you said, if you are a marketer or you are writing for marketers, and you create your account and you publish to your account with zero followers, you might reach people, you might not. It depends on a few other things that you can do wrong or you can do well. If you publish in a publication for marketers like Better Marketing, you won't reach 100,000 followers, but you have the potential to reach many more people than you would on an account that is brand new, right?
Mhm.
And I
And
just
this is
checked.
the Better Marketing publication for those who are wondering what it
Yeah.
is. And I noticed not only are there really interesting titles, but there are also very interesting graphics that come with the titles,
And
right?
a publication is always kind of trying to keep a balance between promoting each author's individuality and being proud to share so many different voices, but then
Right.
also having guidelines and style
That's
guides
right.
that make it that try to ensure that we adhere to certain standards so that
Yes, yes, yes.
people, our followers can say, hey, I have never seen this author before, but I am following the publication and I see lots of great stuff in this publication. So I'll check out this article too. Of course, all of this is happening like in microseconds in the brain of a potential reader. But that's one of the many things that is very different on Medium compared to many other more popular social media platforms, I would say.
Now, so this is really helpful that we're getting right into publications because a lot of people watching this right now are either they haven't started on Medium yet, or they are new and they're like, yeah, I would love to have more readers, obviously, because I could do. But I mean, that's one of the things that you should do, I guess, when you write on Medium is you should promote your own Medium article to your own network, right? Like that helps it to get it going, right? Some of the initial viewership and things like that. But then these publications, like you're an editor of, could be a huge boost. What do you say to people who want to submit to publications? Like you said, there are guidelines. You recently sent me your guidelines for publication because I was trying to get an article into your publication. He's like, hey, George, there's some guidelines here. You might want to look at it first and things like that. But can you give us a sense? I mean, I don't know, are you you're an editor for one publication. That's probably enough work. I mean, have you had experience with other Medium publications, either as an editor or a writer?
No, so
Okay.
I have three different roles in the Medium ecosystem, so to say. So I have my own writing.
Yes.
I'm running one of the largest Facebook communities for Medium writers. So we
Wow.
started that very early on. We have a Facebook group with over 10,000 people
What's it
now,
called?
writers. It's called Medium Writing Academy,
Okay. I will
Writers
make sure to put that.
Mastermind.
Okay.
Yeah. And I'm also running a flagship program called Medium Writing Academy, where we are supporting new writers. So it's a self-paced course that you can take where you learn everything. You learn how to use the platform, but you also learn how to really write for an audience and how to communicate your message and ideas in a way that people want to read your content.
Hmm.
And we've been doing that for a couple of years now. And now I have the editor hat because I got to connect with so many editors and publication founders over the years because I interviewed them for that Facebook group. We had conversations, and really one thing led to another. So
So you
I
have a
know a
lot of
lot of other
experience.
editors.
Yeah.
I have interviewed them, but Better
Amazing.
Marketing is the first publication I'm actively editing.
Yeah, no, I would say based on your picking the brains of so many Medium publication creators, I think you know a lot about publications. So let me ask you this. So, what are the chances? I could say you could maybe generally answer this. What are the chances that a new writer could have their article in a publication that helps them to get viewership? Now, let me just be clear. There are lots of publications on Medium. Does it cost any money to start a publication on Medium?
No,
No, anyone can do it basically, right?
yeah,
And so there are a lot of publications that are very tiny, I imagine. I mean, just like the long tail, right? It's like tons
exactly.
of tiny, tiny publications that even if you submit there, it's like you might not get any readers at all, kind of thing. To a few publications that have tens of thousands, like the one that you're an editor for. So for the ones, okay, let's say I'm a new writer. Should I be submitting to larger publications or just to smaller publications? What's your guidance there?
If you, let me say it differently. Even as a brand new writer with 0 followers, you can get published in a publication like Better Marketing if the story you are submitting is one that we want to publish. We are not going to check your profile to see how many followers you have or how many articles you have published. If the article is of good quality, it's interesting, it's well written, it's engaging. That's the barrier, actually. It's just, do you have experience writing for an audience? And are you able to write a really great article? If the answer to that is yes, and let's say you have a blog that you've been running for a couple of years, you have amazing content on your blog, you take it to Medium. That's something a lot of people don't know by the way, like if you have existing blog posts, you can take them to Medium, you can publish them on Medium, but also in a publication, and you can get extra traffic on the work that you have already created maybe years ago. And you can always have your own call to action. The article can get boosted. The article can make money on the platform. So it's a great way to leverage the content you have already created. But let's say it is a great article. You can get published even with the largest publications. Of course, the problem is if you're a new writer, maybe you've been creating different types of content and you are not so much into writing, there is just a learning curve. There are a few things that you won't get right at the first try, and that's why you will likely get rejected from bigger publications at first. But you have a great chance of getting into those big ones, and that's one of the mistakes a lot of people actually do make. They wait a little too long almost to submit to those publications because they're intimidated. They think
Yeah.
their work is not good enough yet.
Yeah. Oh my gosh, this is so, it gives me so much hope for myself, but also for everybody who's watching this. And by the way, I want to thank Fabio Serpoloni, sure I'm mispronouncing your name, Fabio, your last name, who is I've interacted with Fabio on Medium and off Medium, and he's a great writer on Medium as well. I don't know, are you familiar with Fabio? He's like, I
No.
can't believe I'm seeing Jordan Sinem having a chat. What a small online world. So he apparently knows who you are. So okay, this is really helpful and hopeful that even a brand new writer can get a piece published in a large publication because it's about the quality of the writing. And I'm surprised to hear you say that you're not admitting people into the publication because they have a lot of followers. Even for a marketing publication, I would assume as an editor, I'm like, well, let me if I have choices of 5 articles to publish, I'm going to publish the ones who have the biggest followership first or at all because, well, it's good for our publication too. But you're saying that that's actually not a common reason that something gets published.
No,
Wow.
not at all, because
Okay.
it just because you have a lot of followers doesn't necessarily mean that the piece is going to get a lot of traction. And I know that's, one of the
I
the,
can I
the
can I can
questions
attest to
you
that.
noted, yeah. And on the other side, we want a diverse catalog. We want different voices. We want different opinions and perspectives.
Yeah.
What is true, of course, is when you have published with us dozens of times and we know your name, we know that every single piece you sent to us is of high quality, it's decent, we want to push it out, we want to boost it, we want to send it to our newsletter. It's going to, I'm going to take a quick look at it and I'm going to know that it's ready to get published, and I'm going to schedule it ahead. Versus if I'm seeing your name for the first time, I'm going to be a bit more careful about reading the whole piece. About maybe I am going to take a look at your profile to see what you are saying about yourself in your bio. Do you have relevant experience related to that article that you have submitted? Do you have a website linked? But it's not necessary. Especially if you have a personal connection to your topic in your article, your profile and bio is not going to be relevant.
Are Given that you've interviewed so many other publication editors, are other editors as generous as you?
It's actually not about being generous, because we want great content to share with our followers. If you have 100,000 followers on your profile, but you are submitting the same stuff over and over again, that's not of value for us. And publication editors don't make money off of the editor work they do. So
It's a volunteer
that's
position for you.
yeah, exactly. And that's been a little different for some big medium publications in the past, but
Mm.
it's not anymore. So even if you have a mega viral article in your publication, you might have subscriber growth or follower growth, but I see some of the biggest publications moving more towards quality and fewer pieces, rather than the opposite. The writing cooperative is a great example, also for writers specifically, where the editor is just being more and more selective instead of opening up. I think it's really not a matter of being generous or kind to new writers. It's just because you don't have a Medium following or profile doesn't mean you have a great story to share or you are not a great writer. You're just new to the platform, and
Yeah.
we are excited to welcome you.
Yeah. That's again, I think that's kind and generous. So then the question becomes, well, how do we find publications to submit our content to? What is your guidance on that?
Um, there are a bunch of different ways you can take. The most straightforward is use the search bar, type in the topics you want to write about or you've written about or you are knowledgeable about. Go into those topic pages and look at where the articles related to that topic are published. And you might have to scroll back a little while just to get a long enough list of a bunch of different publications.
And can I actually try this on screen right now?
Yeah, go ahead.
Let's say
Go,
that
but go to
I'm
the main page,
the main
click on the
page.
Medium
Okay.
logo. Yeah,
Right.
exactly.
Okay. Actually, yeah, Medium logo. Okay. Now I'm on the main page, and I'm gonna say, let's say I am a relationship coach, and I want to write about relationships. I want to write about how to thrive in a long-term relationship. Well, I don't
Yeah,
know.
I would put in relationships
Okay, like
for
that.
let's start with that. Yeah, and then you go down at the topics.
Topics.
You
Okay.
Yeah, click
It's
on
interesting.
relationships.
Okay, so this is just slightly different take. Just a but I would
That's
just click on, yeah,
yeah.
just click on this one.
And
Okay.
just can you just go back again? This is just yeah. So you can see the publications there. You
Mm-hmm.
see people and publications. The people might be people who write about the topic, and the publications can be publications in that topic already. But the first one here, for example, is an inactive publication. So they have been the largest relationship publication, but they're not active anymore. So this can be a helpful starting point, this little box right there. But you have to dig a little deeper because
Yeah.
looking at it now, you wouldn't know that
Right.
PSLW is
Like there's no
inactive.
information about any of
Yeah,
this. This is just like quick suggestions. So what you said, it was to click on the
right.
topics, click on the topic itself. 3.7 million
Exactly.
followers, right, on this topic. And now, by the way, when we publish an article on Medium, and any writer, you get to choose, each writer gets to choose which topics are associated with their article, right? Now, in your experience, in them, does that really make a difference in getting
It
your
makes such
article?
a huge difference.
Really?
That's how I found your work.
What?
Because
Okay.
as a let me just try to do this real quick. So
Yeah, so I'm just
Medium has a I'll call it a feature that is very different and unique compared to the rest of the online world. So what happens on most platforms is you publish something and it's either picked up by the algorithm or not. Like it can go mega viral, it can reach your parts of your audience, a small part, a large part, or nobody sees it at all. The algorithm is doing the work. Now, Medium has had a very similar system to most other algorithms that are out there. What they did last year is they have added another layer. That is the boost system. The boost
this
is basically
this is really
human
important, by
curation.
the way, because I have been on Medium embarrassingly. So then you know how long I've been on Medium? And like towards the beginning. Like I've been on Medium since like 2010 or 2008, something really early on. I just have done very little in terms of like actually strategically using it. And I was basically, so then before we met, I was basically going to give up on it. Like I was like, I mean, I'm a very, I'm a turtle. So I'm turquoise or whatever. I'm like, I've been just publishing regularly on Medium for over a decade, just because I'm like, oh, I'm gonna publish something on my blog. I might as well copy paste it to Medium, right? Like a lot of people do. Oh, I'm gonna copy paste it to LinkedIn also, whatever. And like no traction. I mean, I have 3,000 followers supposedly, but I get like a few dozen views on my articles, maybe if I'm lucky, like for each article. It's like almost nothing happening on Medium for a decade. And then suddenly you came along one day and you boosted one of my articles, and I'm like, what? And then suddenly I get people commenting on my article. I'm like, what's happening? What just happened? And then, I learned about this boost system. So you've just saved my Medium life. Okay. And you've given hope to all my viewers here. I'm like, oh, Medium. Okay, this thing. We heard about it. And now there's someone who can guide us into it. Again, folks watching this, go to the links below. I'll give you the links to Sinem's profile. You can read about her, how to get started on Medium article. You can check out all the publications that no, the better marketing, etc. Anyway, so Boost is a new system that just started on Medium not long ago, and it is obviously made a huge difference already for me. What is Boost? How do we get boosted? Yeah.
Yeah. The boost is basically there are two types of people who are involved in the whole boost program. The first and the most important for you as a writer is there are boost nominators. I believe it's a couple hundred at this time. A boost nominator is someone who is running a publication on Medium. Most of them have been on the platform for a while, have decent experience, and a boost nominator is able to tell the team that they have found an article that they believe is boost worthy. So I saw one of your articles browsing through Medium, looking at the marketing page, I think, because I'm responsible for marketing, entrepreneurship, stuff like that. So I go to the topic pages, like you opened the relationship page right before. I would go to those pages. I would look for stories that are published there. And I don't care if it's a new writer, a writer who's been there for 10 years. And if I see something that I believe deserves more views than it got, because it obviously didn't get a lot of engagement and traction yet, we have a little form. I can submit the article and I can say, hey, this is why I believe this article is exceptional and it deserves to get in front of a larger audience. If my suggestion gets accepted, you get a boost of views. Based on these views and based on how those viewers, those readers interact with your story can then go viral, or it doesn't, because the algorithm now realizes, okay, we have given this story extra views, but people didn't seem to quite like it, so it's gonna go down again. And this is very unique because it's actual humans screening, submitting articles, etc. And a lot of people have like mixed feelings about that, because they say, well, this is so unfair because a couple people have so much power to decide what is good or not. On the other side, every algorithmic distribution system is unfair in a way that you are not always going to get the results that you want either. So at the end of the day, on Medium, you are writing for human readers. So it's actually a pretty decent decision to let humans decide whether they think you deserve that extra boost. And it's not all or nothing. You can also reach a massive audience and go viral without the boost. You can also go viral with purely algorithmic distribution. That still works. But the boost makes a huge difference, especially for new writers, for writers looking to grow
Yeah,
and looking to reach a new audience.
totally. Now, this is so interesting. I mean, I have been faithfully adding some topics to my articles for, like I said, for a decade, and now with the boost program, it actually matters in my opinion, because to me, I haven't seen it matter for more than a decade. in my experience. I mean, I have had some articles that I think are objectively pretty good, like pretty, I think worthy of a publication like Better Marketing, and it hasn't. And then now with the human curation of the topic. So let me ask you that. So let me actually first show on screen here how easy it is to add topics, right? Like I started this silly test article here. Before publishing, I would click on the three dots. I would click on change topics or more settings. Is there a difference? There's the same thing, right?
It's the same thing, yeah.
Okay.
Change
Well, let
topics.
me go to more settings just because there's a lot more stuff there. But like I can pin the story to the top of my profile, which again doesn't make much difference unless people are visiting your profile. I can, oh, here, reader interest. This is what we're talking about. Like if my article was about relationships, I would type relationship, just relationships, right? Relationship.
Exactly.
Now it's interesting here. Relationship new, meaning
And
nobody has started a topic on relationship without the S.
that's
Possible.
and that's the problem actually. The problem is you can create a new tag. So somebody has created this tag and it's actually a very bad one because you could look up this tag now, the relationship
Let's look it up. So
um
relationship, but this it's not even showing. Let me press enter on the
yeah, let's
press
try
enter.
that.
Let me do topics. I don't even
You
see
don't
it.
even see it. Yeah, and
Yeah,
that which means if you would use that tag,
doesn't matter then.
you
It's
you don't get any benefit.
well,
If you use this tag,
let me use it without the so here's the thing.
it doesn't
Nobody
even show up.
it doesn't
Yeah.
even exist.
Yeah, but you could still use it, and that's the dangerous part
Yeah.
because then you are wasting one of your 5 slots.
Right. Okay. And it's important apparently. So then is it diluting my topic slots if I use all five? Is it more powerful
No,
somehow to use one?
no, you want to use all five
Oh my
and you
God.
want to use a combination of some big and some smaller, more specific ones.
Okay.
Because,
Yeah.
George, maybe if you want, open one of your recent articles
Sure,
and
sure.
let's take a look at the tags.
I'll open my sad profile and we can look at this together here. So da 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 da. I'm gonna open this one, for example, and I'll go to the
Scroll
settings.
down.
Sorry.
Oh,
Oh,
yeah, you
scroll
can
down.
also, yeah,
Yeah.
we also see the tags when you scroll down.
Oh, right. Okay. So here is one
Yeah,
because
it's
I
just
didn't
one.
care
Yeah, but
because
if
I'm like
you
it's not gonna matter. You know.
Yeah, it does. It always mattered actually, to be
Okay.
fair, because even before the boost, the tags are kind of telling the tag is how you match an article with a potential audience. Because as you
Mm.
could see before, the relationship tag had what millions of followers. So
Yes.
people are following this
Yes.
topic. They are telling Medium, I am interested in reading about relationships. So
Yes.
if you publish an article about relationships, um, like, and you tag it correctly, that's your chance to get matched with some of these 3.7 million followers who
Yeah.
already tell us they are interested in the topic.
Now, the thing is, though, there are 443,000 articles, posts, stories, whatever you want to call them. Okay, one of the confusing things on Medium is that these are called stories. A post on Medium is called a story. Of course, that's confusing to those of us who use other social media because an
Yeah,
Instagram story is a 15
yeah.
seconds, what. So here on Medium, a post is called a
Everything is a
story.
story.
It's
Yeah.
called a blog post. It's called an article. It's called a piece of writing. Whatever. It's just called stories here. Now, so Sanem, fine. I'll tag my article. Relationships. Okay, I'm gonna do it properly. Relationships, and then I have to click on the one that they suggest. Sadly, they don't tell us how many followers there are, so I would have to research on my own how big or small these are.
Um, let's try something else. Go back to the editor
Okay.
because you're in settings now.
Yes.
Can you click the publish button?
Oh, okay.
It won't publish.
Yeah.
Scroll down. Can you try to add the tag here?
Ah, right. Thank you. See, this is why we're
Yeah.
talking because because this is where you now see relationship.
And this
Uh,
is, but you have to be careful. This
so,
is just the number of published stories. This is not the
oh,
number
right.
of
This is the number of
followers.
published stories, not the number of followers.
So,
But naturally, however many published stories probably correlates often to the number of followers. Like
yeah,
the more published stories, the more followers. Okay. So you're saying that it's a good idea to add larger ones as well as smaller ones, like let's say relationship
exactly.
counseling or something like that.
Yeah. So you want each of those tags to really represent your story and um, be related to your story. So it will always depend on what exactly you have written. In this case, if you're giving advice, relationship advice obviously is much
Yeah.
smaller. And
Yeah.
then it could, depending on what you're really talking about, you could tag love is probably a huge one, or you
Yeah.
could go to parenthood, or you
Right.
type in, I don't know, long
Marriage
distance
or what? Okay.
relationship.
So for example, here, if I typed in marriage, right, there's one that's not even 1,000 stories. Okay. How small would you go personally?
You can go very small if it's kind of your niche and it's what you want to be
Mm,
known for.
yeah.
But this is where I would look at the topic page again. And if I look at marriage therapy, this tag has only 48 followers, but it
Mm.
has over 800 stories. So it's a weird um, dynamic, actually. This is very rare to have so many stories, but so
92 stories,
little
one follower
followers.
for
Yeah.
marriage therapist.
But if you call yourself a marriage therapist, that's what you do, that's who you are, then you might want to be the person who always shows up right here at recommended
Yes.
stories,
Ah,
because you want
okay.
everyone on Medium who
Yes.
looks up marriage
Yes.
therapy to
Yes.
come across your
That's right.
story.
Yeah.
So that's a different way to look at it.
Now, here's a question. Okay, let's go back to I don't know, a bigger one. Let's say, no, this is not let's go back to relationships here. Okay, let's go back to it. How does Medium choose what are the recommended stories?
Can you wait? Can you Are we zoomed in on the screen
Oh,
now?
let me
Yeah,
zoom
I
out. Let
think
me zoom out. Okay. Well,
um
this is all zoomed
I'm
out. Yeah.
okay. I think
I
right now, and this is
maybe
changing
refresh.
from time to time. I think right now the recommended stories section is algorithmic. So
Right.
it's
Because
often
I just
based
refreshed. I
on
just refreshed and it changed, you
it's
know?
often based on the performance of articles.
Okay.
So,
Okay.
and maybe there is just a much larger. This is actually odd. I haven't seen it change the way it does for you right now. Maybe
Well,
that's
this one
because
didn't
you don't
change. Well,
see.
no wonder it didn't change because it looks very sexy. But okay, this one just I saw that,
Yeah.
3 seconds
I
ago. So
think it's a couple of stories in this section that maybe they're running.
right, this one I
S-
just recognized earlier. So
yeah.
if I scroll, if I maybe not so far, but it looks like they keep shifting places, right?
Yeah. And it's also those recommended stories are usually boosted stories too. So maybe it doesn't have a lot
Ah,
of engagement yet, but it got boosted like an hour ago or something like that.
right. Because
So
this one didn't get this is 4 hours ago that was written. So it was very fast. That's why it hasn't gotten much engagement yet. But most of these have pretty, I mean, most of these,
yeah,
I would be pretty happy with several hundred clap. Oh, but look, recommended stories include
this
something
is
that was
new,
a
yeah.
day ago or a day ago with only 10 claps. That's,
But this is a 50-minute read.
oh my God.
This
Oh,
is
wait, you're
not
right.
a normal article.
That's right. That's right. See more recommended
So
stories. Um,
And Medium does, like the Medium team actually handpicks and curates articles too. And they might
oh,
show up
wow.
here too. I'm not 100% sure
Okay.
about
Okay.
that.
Okay.
As I
That's
said,
good to
they are
know.
sometimes testing different things.
Yeah.
For example, if you go to the main homepage
Okay.
back, those three articles right there, it already says
Staff
staff
picks.
picks.
Yes.
This is handpicked. This could be an article that someone has come across. They think it's brilliant. It deserves this spot for
Yes. Oh
millions of
yeah.
readers,
That's
and they put it
amazing.
right there.
Wow.
And if you click on see the full list, you will see many more.
Hey, look, you
Yeah.
are the first article. I mean, this is random. And the Fabio is the third. Fabio is the one who's also
Ah,
watching
okay.
our, yeah, he's the one who just commented. He's the one commenter right now on this
Yeah.
video. But yeah, isn't that a wonderful synchronicity? Okay, so let me go back to the person who's writing, and we are adding topics here. You're saying big topic, small topic, topics that you want to be known for, makes a lot of sense, and use up all 5 slots.
Yeah.
And okay, now let me ask you this question about being that you are a Boost nominator. Are they called Boost nominators? Is that what it's called?
Yeah.
Okay. You're a Boost nominator. You nominate articles you come across. You're like reading different topics on Medium. You say, hey, that's worthy of being boosted. And by the way, just to be clear, the terminology is also confusing because when we say boost in other social media, we pay for that stuff.
Yeah.
Pay for boosts on Instagram,
And
Facebook,
that's, yeah,
YouTube.
that's really the weird thing about Medium is, when you have the partner program where you can get paid for your articles or for the engagement on your articles, and when an article gets boosted, it typically earns way more. If it has the same engagement as a non-boosted article, it earns significantly more. So
Well,
exactly what you said, it's a bit
yeah,
the other way around. Like,
yeah,
you don't boost it by paying for it, but
yeah.
it gets boosted and you make
It's
more
like I
money
said,
off of
it's
it.
very generous for people like you, boost nominators to boost. Now, so let me ask you this question then. Given that these are human curators, of course, there is the possibility of human corruption. Okay. So it's like, so now that we're friends, why don't you boost my articles more often? Now, obviously, I don't want you to do that, but how does Medium, I'm just curious, like as a boost nominator, do you have a score attached to yourself? Like, let's say one day I become a boost. By the way, how does someone become a boost nominator?
It's mostly publication editors.
Okay,
Like, it's
okay.
only publication editors right
Okay.
now, actually.
So let's say I become a boost nominator, and then I'm like, I have a bunch of clients and students. I'm like, well, of course I want to boost their stuff. Do I is there the editors of the boost nominators, they'll probably like, yeah, George just basically boosts these same people whose articles
Yeah.
are so. So there's a obviously I imagine there is a quality control for the boosting
Yeah.
program. Yeah.
That's the thing. Like, I don't boost articles. I nominate them. Someone else, who
Okay.
I don't know who that someone is,
I see. I see.
makes the final decision. And that's what most people don't know, which I think is actually a crucial element of the program. The typical boost nominator has very few nomination slots per month. It's only 20. And
Wow.
you boost nominators get a small compensation for each accepted nomination. So you have a high incentive to actually only submit stuff that you think is going to get accepted, because otherwise you are just wasting those slots that it's a small fee, but that you could get paid for. And if if you do a good job and you have an exceptionally high acceptance rate, you might have more nomination slots open the next month, but you don't get paid for those. So you can nominate more articles, but you won't, like, there is a cap on how much you can make through that boost nomination
Right.
program. It's
Yeah.
not a lot, because that's not what it's about. So
Yeah.
it's not here to help editors make money. It's
Right.
just a
Right.
small compensation. So
Yeah.
I have my students and my clients who go through my Medium Writing Academy, who are in my membership, and some of them write for Better Marketing, for example. Because it's my client, if I see their submission in Better Marketing and we have a coaching call tomorrow, I can say, hey, you know what? Let's come to that coaching call. I'm gonna tell you what to do slightly differently so we can increase the chances of this article to get boosted. But I cannot say, pay me $50 and I'm gonna boost your article because I don't know. Like I know what the criteria are, and everyone knows, well, to be fair, because Medium is posting them publicly and they publish a lot of content and updates on what those guidelines for boosting are. But eventually it's just refining, making tweaks. And of course, my advantage is that I have access to this huge library of my own content, but also what we see in Better Marketing and what I see, submitting, getting accepted, getting rejected. I see what they want me to submit and what not. And even though I have so much data and so many insights, I am not right 100% of the time. I submit pieces that get rejected every single month. So and that's the human part of it, because I might love an article. I might think that it absolutely deserves a boost.
Mm.
And the other person who is reviewing it might think no.
Right, exactly.
And
So I want to close the loop on something we started earlier, and then we can start to close off this conversation too. We were talking about finding publications, right? Like, so if I'm again being playing that relationship counselor here, I type in relationships, I press enter, and instead of clicking on one of the suggestions, I just press enter, and then I can just directly go to publications, right? Which sadly doesn't tell me how many followers or how many whatever. It doesn't give me any numbers. But there's
yeah, and this is a huge list. This is
yeah.
one place you could go, but I'm going to share a link to better lists actually. But if you
Oh,
go back, I think, in my opinion, the like if you
go
are on
back.
the relationships page, like
Yes.
the one we had before,
Okay, go back to the
with the
topics,
articles, yeah.
relationships. Yes, yes.
What I would do, which is more work, but what I find more meaningful, is scroll through this page. And this is a bit tricky because this is such a broad term. Like relationships could be about
Yeah.
parenting,
Anything.
love,
Sure.
work.
Yes.
So this is a bit of tricky because it's such a big topic. But you could now look at, where are these articles published,
On the
and
couch, crow's feet.
are
Right.
those relationship related publications, or do they
Yeah.
have a relationship corner
That's
that
right.
I could submit to?
It's very convenient because when I scroll over this on the couch publication, it tells me how many followers. Crow's
Yeah.
feet, how many followers? See the Virago, how many followers? So that's super. Okay, hold on. So right. So this is interesting, right? So now look at this. There's writer publication, writer publication, writer publication, and this is only publication. Is that right? Or
This
no?
is just writer. This is a self-published piece that's not in
Oh,
a publication.
the writer is called Unbecoming. That's not a publication's name. Got it.
Yeah.
Right. Or
So
like for
even
example,
if,
here, this is only a writer without a publication.
yeah,
Yeah, got it. Got it. Okay. Super, super helpful. My gosh. I want to make sure people know. Well, of course, I'm going to add all your links and stuff below this video
let
when
me,
I'm finished.
yeah, let me just, before we forget this, let me share two links. I'm sharing that here in the chat, so you can share
Sure.
them
I will put
so
it in
everyone sees them.
the video. Yeah.
The first one is a just a public list Medium has curated with lots of different publications. This is not easy to like search through because it's just a huge long list,
Mhm.
but it's one of those links that I recommend bookmarking so you have it all in one place.
Yeah, I will certainly put this
Um,
below the video later. Yeah.
oh, and I actually didn't notice. Look, what you can see there is pubs marked with a balloon can nominate stories for boost consideration. This is incredible
Ooh.
information, because the second link that I'm sharing is a list specifically of publications that are part of the Boost nomination pilot. This
Wow.
list is not complete, so there
Amazing.
are publications
Yeah.
that are part of the program that
Yes.
don't want to be part of this list because they don't
Ah,
want to be known as
okay.
boosting publications.
Ah, interesting.
But
Interesting.
still, you got,
Yeah.
70 plus
So many.
options here.
Yeah, so many. Okay. I want to make sure we only have a few minutes left. How do people work with you? People are like, oh my gosh,
Um,
this is great. I want Sinem's personal help, or to join your program so that there's a structured way to actually grow on Medium, etc. Or I know you also help people kind of business stuff. But yeah, tell us your current favorite offers.
Yeah, you know what? We actually have a page. This
Yeah,
is,
give
I
me a
think, the
link and I'll
easiest.
pull it up on the screen. Yeah.
You see all our different freebies, courses, and stuff there. And when you sign up to our newsletter, you also get the invite to join the Facebook group.
Oh, this is
Um,
nice.
and then we'll hopefully stay connected and yeah,
Yeah.
I'll hopefully be
Well,
able to give you some
that's fine.
shortcuts.
This is all good, but I want to know, what about your paid offers? I mean, it's fine because I think some people watching this are just like, you know what? Help me save time. I want to go directly working with you or working with your program. What's that like?
If you want to, yeah, if you want to write on Medium and you want to do that, as efficiently as possible, go to mediumwritingacademy.com, and that's our signature offer. That's the
Oh,
program that
cool.
I've been running for 4 years now. We've had
Wow.
hundreds of students.
Wow.
We recently, like just at the end of last year, we updated the full curriculum to be up to
Oh my
date with the
gosh.
Boost nomination system.
Sure.
We have a huge Boost vault, which is just a huge database full of
Yes.
articles that got boosted, so you can,
Yes.
see all the different types of or styles of stories
Wow.
that were boosted in the
And this
past.
sales page is amazing, by the way. Good
Thank
job.
you.
This is a lot of work that you put in, and this is amazing. I mean, and so thank you. Thank you for offering this. And so folks, obviously I'll put this below as well, but Sinem, you're such a generous person. I mean, just because of what you do on Medium, but also here with all the free resources. So I'll be sure to link all of these things. Um, Final words, anything else you said, George? We have a minute and a half left. I want to make sure people know this.
Just know that if you have existing blog posts, you can take them over to Medium.
Super
You
helpful.
you might be able to make small tweaks and edits, and you might be ready to go and have articles in publications being boosted, making money,
Yeah.
generating
I,
leads.
I realize I have a question I have to ask you. I publish all of my articles as Creative Commons. I edit the licensing and I put no rights reserved Creative Commons. Is that well, that's just because that's my view on authorship. But is this a good idea, bad idea for boosting, for visibility, or does it matter? Not matter?
I think it doesn't matter. I never really see people doing it. I
Okay.
don't think it has any effect on
Okay.
distribution at
Okay.
all.
That's
And if
helpful to know.
it's your
Yeah.
perspective on it,
Yeah.
I
Okay.
think there is
So
no harm
that's
in
fine.
it.
Okay. Sanem, it's been amazing to talk with you. Thank you so much again for all of your kindness and like abundance of sharing. So I'll put all the links below and thanks again. I hope folks will learn from you. I have a renewed hope about Medium. I'm going to start taking it more seriously this year. And so thank you again. Thanks for everything.
Yeah, thank you for having me. I
Yeah.
hope it's going to be an exciting opportunity for many people.